Okay, I've started the recording. Yeah, so welcome to this first session about strides, and I'm going to present a draft position paper, part one, the grand challenge. And then please feel free to chat among yourself and write your name, your any comments, so that that log remains with us. Um, Following my presentation, there will be an opportunity for us to have a focus group discussion where I would like you to critique, extend, review, or refine the proposal of or what has been drafted by me. Okay. And then we will talk about how we want to further develop this proposal. And you are all free to contribute to it, and then we will close today. So thank you for attending this meeting already. Okay, so COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has changed the global risk landscape, and risk has been reprioritized. New risks have emerged and others have been intensified. And that is what the Global Risk Report 2021 has stated. And it is important to consider these changes due to this sudden pandemic challenges which we have incurred this week and this year and the last year. So the impacts of pandemic have widened inequalities in almost all areas. The societal fragmentation has manifested increased societal challenges and emerging global risk to human health, rising unemployment, widening digital divide, and youth disillusionment. This has all compounded into economic, environmental, geopolitical, and technological risk. The World Economic Forum Global Risk Perception Survey results 2020-2021 has highlighted a radically altered global risk landscape, especially in the human-led environmental degradation risk, including extreme weather conditions, climate action failure, human-made damage, and biodiversity loss, and in societal health, including infectious diseases. Predominantly, climate change is still an existing threat to humanity. According to United Nations Conference on Trade and Development 2020 report, the first half of 2020 showed a slight decrease, which you can see in this graph. And that was of 9% due to the COVID-19 lockdown, as most economies were forced to shut down. If such a decrease is repeated year after year for a decade, then there is a hope of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade. However, the previous history shows that the emissions bounce back after the economic crisis, as it was evident from the Great Recession of 2008-2009. And this has been showed by Storo 2020. As the economies emerge from the pandemic, collective efforts are needed for clean growth, creating a zero carbon society, reducing social, environmental, and economic inequalities, and increasing societal capacity and management capacities to address climate change. So to structure the fundamentals of climate resilient development pathways and to achieve ambitious mitigation and adaptation targets for net zero carbon and sustainable society in conjunction with the poverty eradication and efforts to reduce inequalities, fundamental societal and systemic transformations are required. So there is a need for change. What this suggests that we must change not only the methods and technologies to acquire, deliver, and exchange knowledge, but also need to accelerate the wide-scale behavior changes of how we apply knowledge gathered from the formal channels, community channels, and the knowledge from indigenous knowledge and local knowledge, and apply these for decision making for sustainable development goals and targets. So what is the role of education? Education is an important lever for change for sustainability. The way in which education is delivered and acquired within the formal, informal, and non-formal spaces determine our ability to make decisions for sustainability and build a low carbon, climate resilient, just, and inclusive society. This is why education is regarded as a critical success factor for the establishment of paths that provide training for individuals who understand reality in more systemic, integrated, inter and transdisciplinary way, contributing to the sustainability paradigm. And this I would say that I have taken from Grant Siloy and Jacobi 2020, who are also our member of Strides Forum. Unfortunately, they have not attended today, but I think we will see them in meetings. Moreover, World Economic Forum 2015 has identified the top 15 emerging skills, which also demand structural, technological, and methodological adjustments and reorientations of all educational spaces to undergo to fulfill their function of educating towards the generation of a greater competent autonomy in reading, interpreting, and understanding the world. So we have partially tackled the sustainability paradigm, and I will show you how. Like under the label local to global movement, only a part of necessary changes for sustainability paradigms have been tackled. Most have chosen to focus on individuals in isolated and non-political demands, such as selective disposal or shorter baths or less opening of refrigerator on hot days, aiming to increase the volume of sensitive and complex changes from the personal, that is including perception, values, attitudes, behaviors, and relationships. However, to the planetary, considering the interactions between political, cultural, environmental, social, economic components, among others, of building sustainable societies, where we have tackled less. So accelerating excellence in educational spaces is only one aspect of the challenge. We also need to figure out how to deploy this excellence while increasing operational flexibility if the purpose is to transform educational systems. So what exactly does it mean to accelerating excellence in educational system? While increasing the excellence in educational system is important, the world still faces the challenge of providing basic hand washing facilities in 35% of primary schools, reported by United Nations 2020. So many inclusive and equitable quality questions remain unaddressed. What exactly does it mean to accelerating excellence in educational spaces while increasing operational flexibility and in the context of building low carbon, climate resilient, just, and inclusive society remains a question. And how to understand this reality in a more systemic, integrated, inter and transdisciplinary way as the sustainability paradigm demands. So what are our next steps? Before dwelling it, we need to do a reality check. And these will serve us as a starting point. We need to invite challenge owners, that is us, system thinkers, innovation practitioners, investment professionals, ecosystem shapers, and creative voices to join us in figuring out how to deploy knowledge capital in pursuit of the greatest ambition we hold for our future. And so we will start looking at the case studies in various environments of education systems in which we learn, teach, and exchange knowledge. Here, I have given few examples, very, very few examples, but you may find plenty. For example, like online education, lifelong education, outdoors environmental education, whole institutional systemic approach to education, or a holistic education, community education, and you will find these case studies. But what we need to look for them in these case studies, we want to understand how that particular educational system, that is that environment, stands today, what it needs to look like in the future, what transition pathways it can take, how that education system mobilizes knowledge capital in service of its sustainability transition, both from the individual perspective, institutional perspective, as well as from the global sustainable development goals perspective. And how can it build strategic portfolio of assets that unlock synergies from the combinational effects in wider societal well-being? And so this is what I want you all to contribute to. And I will stop with the final slide showing that we have already gained 20 membership for this our Strides project from 11 countries. And I'm very proud of this. And I will stop sharing my slide. So thank you very much for listening to me. And I want to know now your perspectives on what I have presented today. Yes, Nesebi. Oh, she's clapping, sorry. Thank you. I thought she's raising a hand. So yes, thank you very much. So my next step is that I will send this position paper, my draft, I will share these on the Google form, and I will invite all you to critique there or to add, review. There could be spelling mistakes, there could be grammatical mistakes, and anything, whatever you can help to refine and make it more rigorous and academic, that would be helpful. And then to add these case studies. So the starting point, we want you to look at within your local, within global, within any country, any environment, you should look at the case studies and put in there, asking yourself these examples, and we will have a portfolio of cases to look at it and then analyze them. And later on, we will think of what to do. But this, my initial idea is about collecting some case studies to know what it is at the moment. What is the current context of our educational system at the moment? Without dwelling into these things, we can't go forward, right? So I thought of these things. What do you think? What are your suggestions on these methodology or my argument of why we should be doing and so on?
I was going to say, Renuka, oh, sorry.
Yes, Janet, please tell first, and then Isabel, you can go.
I was just going to say, it's such a wide area. There's so much we could bring in that it's good to make it a little more specific so that we know where to start and we can handle it. And I wonder if we're thinking of what educational institutions are doing already, or maybe it's or what they still need to do, which I think is the important thing really, is where they go from where they are at the moment.
Yes, why I've kept, thank you, Janet. Why I've kept it wide, because I don't know at the moment what case studies we will encounter.
Yeah, I understand that.
So
I'm just thinking myself.
Yes. So for example, like ours is online education.
Yes.
We can bring in that case study. But do we think it is sustainable? We don't know, right? So we need to speak that later on. We need to find our answers, questions which I have said. So let us bring at least 10 case studies. I don't know how many we will get into. Having this big, we might get 20. I am not sure. Or we may turn up into 5. Then that will definitely scope our study later on. This is like, whenever you are doing research for an introduction, you always go for the global environment. What is there and why do this research? So I have argued for why we need to do this research, why we need to look at the educational system, because the role of education is very important. We are looking for the changes to in the society to go towards like sustainable, just and equitable society. So where can we find? So let us first dwell into what we have as an asset at the moment in our whole globe. Because if we start looking at the future without having context into the current, it would be difficult for us to argue why we want that future.
So we need to do a stock take to start with, really.
Yeah, yes.
We can do it across, I can see we've got a lot of countries between us.
Yes.
Your list. And that would be really good to make comparative studies.
Yes.
People have found from different countries.
Yes. So first I wanted to ask these questions to our case studies, like why, and then that might show us, for example, 4 of the factors are common in all case studies, right? They are, the 4 factors are enablers. So we can keep them, always keep them. But we can find that, okay, few case studies have more impact on something, some has less impact on something, then we can show, okay, how to move these two in a balanced way or something like that. So we come across many things we don't know at the moment without doing any stock. You cannot fill your new cupboard, change your new wardrobe without losing something, knowing what dresses you have. So that is what I'm trying here. Yes, Nisabi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Renuka, for that brilliant presentation.
Thank you.
I think Dr. Janet had the same observation with me, because it's like she spoke my mind, because she mentioned what I wanted to say already about the widening the scope.
Nisabi, can I stop you? Would you write the comment in the chat, because we can't hear you clearly?
Okay, I'll write on the chat box.
Yes, please, please.
It's breaking up a little.
Yeah. Yes, any comment, Robin, because you also know about, you have done a project in this.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Nice meeting you all today, Saturday. I would like to make some contribution. I've been following during COVID time a lot of documentaries concerning education. Now that we are much affected by COVID-19, I've been following especially higher education institution here in Uganda. So we tried e-system, e-learning, but most of the universities were not ready to adjust, both from the lecturers and students. Lecturers, the professors who grew up, some of them not in the .com world, so adjusting to education system using the online technology became a very big problem of even organizing a lectures itself to deliver to students. And then from the side of students, most of them migrated from town area to the villages of fearing infection because of overcrowding in the towns. So already in terms of internet, we have very poor low internet band in the rural areas here. So that one already is creates some kind of inequalities. And then from apart from one university which they did exams online, and the Ministry of Higher Education in Uganda, they're not sure of whether the assessment was equitable, because how do you know that someone is not cheating, yet you don't know if you not
That's right,
develop
yeah.
the software for monitoring the student environment where that particular student is doing that exam at that particular moment. So it is bringing a lot of worries that people even went to the extent of graduating online. So these are some of the issues that they're not really, we need to find out both from rural, urban, local, regional, and at the continental level, how we can compare and come out with really shape our how we frame our research question, how we frame our you know, to move this is a nice project, I could say.
Can I say, Robin, I think we have very similar problems in the UK because, you know, British students, pupils at school are having online education now with lockdown because they can't go to actual school. So a lot of families have got problems, first of all, with broadband. As you said, it's not strong enough. But secondly, they don't have enough laptops in a house. They haven't got enough devices. Maybe a family's got 3 children. Perhaps the parents are working at home as well, and they just don't have enough computers. And you see pictures of, you know, 4 children all gathered around one laptop. And we're supposed to be a rich country. You know, so
Yes.
lots of people also don't have that access, and it's a big barrier because you can
Yeah.
do it and you can get the teachers to do it because they can learn it eventually. But if the kids haven't got the wherewithal to pick it up, and as you say, to give feedback back and forth, to do tests and exams, you've got to have the infrastructure, the individual infrastructure as well, just like
Exactly.
you said.
Here, Nisa Abi has written a comment, and she's also saying that Janet spoke her mind. So yes, I definitely understand that this is a wide project at the moment. We feel that it is a wide project, but we can find out the case studies and contextualize into the local or institutional context. And if any case study is good enough, can be contexted into like global environment. We don't know what will come through it. So it's like first is an exploratory, phase for us. And then we can define depending on what case study. So now here, Robin we have as a online, we can show that it was successful, but we had these problems as well within UK, as well as this Robin mentioned that they also went online and they had a lot of problem, but only one was successful. Why they were successful, but the scene exams are not successful, and so on. So this is what we want to find out first, where we want to go, what are the real problems, and then we can approach further.
Could I say also, Renuka, on top of that, and of course I agree with all you said, it seems to, because economics is my subject.
Yes.
Economics is all about resources, and this is about resourcing. This is about making sure that the equipment is available to have that online education. In other words, we have to make the choice.
Yes.
Whereby other things are given up in order for those resources to be put in place. It's an economic decision.
Yes. So we also want to understand whether online education is sustainable or not. Isn't it?
Yeah, sure. Yes, that's another aspect of it.
Yes. However, the main goal is to change the society for sustainable development goals, right? And I have considered not only educational system, but I say educational environment in the that is wherever there is a formal, informal, or just an exchange of knowledge. We can think of those things also where we are having those things like this network. is in also one type of environment where we can gain education. So how we are doing with that? Is that what people want? Is small bite learning people want? Is just like, I have also heard about the stories that we are still delivering education which is relevant to the laborious industries, not creative industries, because now in going further out in long run, we are not going to have any industry with labor, it because of automation.
Hmm.
And we are still teaching managers the same skills which will not be required by them in future. So is the knowledge also imparted to the students is viable enough to make decisions for the sustainability or sustainable development goals? Are we teaching that? Are we having infrastructure? We are looking at everything, and any good or bad case study you can bring and ask yourself these questions and allow. So I want only a small case study, like of 1 or 2 pages, maybe 1 page is also enough, but then we have to ask ourselves these questions and try to understand. And so we are just taking exploratory approach at the moment to explore what is going on in the environment at the moment. Definitely it is going to be a big project, like a wide project, but we should remember we are 15 of us. If we today we are 6 of us here, that means we are spending 6 hours of knowledge exchange, not only 1 hour. It is 6 times the knowledge exchange is here. So we should consider that we have a wide capacity at the moment. Then why not take this challenge? My intention comes from there. And this is going to be still wider. Yesterday, only 10 people joined us in our network. So yesterday morning, I gave my presentation to Ashley, as I mentioned, my principal. Those who don't know, my principal of a university. I presented him about our network, and he was very happy to take some sort of ownership to support us. And so I think we are looking forward to something more in future from UCM. But when I was presenting him, I had members only counted up to 72. And when I left the presentation and I went to one another network where I had advertised, and I got 84 members now. So we have 84 members in our network. So it's growing. And I think it would be a very good, I don't say that we all need to contribute. Whoever is volunteering, whoever has time, whoever has the interest to do this, do it. Whatever you can do it, we will help you. This is just the path I have showed that we can go forward. And if we are possibly doing this, then it is going to result into a very good project. Also, with only this, yes, Robin.
Let me intercept you a little bit. Now, talking about something you mentioned about the qualities of graduates coming out of the university. So during my MSc, I taught for 2 years, Department of Rural Development and Agribusiness. I think me and Janet, we speak the same language of economics. So what I realize is that when I go to teach, no one come to see whatever I'm going to teach. So it is very hard to, like monitoring whoever is teaching what. Does that thing make sense if you compare to what the reality, the job market demands? So that's another question that we should figure out. If you're a vice chancellor, do you know what someone is teaching in economics? And does that thing in reality exist? Depending now that we have even shifted the 21st century, does that thing still demanded the knowledge and the skills? So that's the question that we should be able to to ask to know if everyone is graduates are not really coming out with their skills, but there are very some people who manufacture them, the professors and doctors. So I got nurtured and I came out, and we know, okay, there's a higher body of the ministry who approve this, who approves the syllabus for students. So they only approve from up there, but if you are recruited as a lecturer, then they don't follow who you are teaching what. They tell you go and source for materials to come and teach students. But you're teaching them with what? After 3 years, when they graduate, will they compete? Will they, do something outside there that to show that you have nurtured them? That's another angle that we should look at. Thank you.
Yes, think of all the angles. Think of all the angles. And here I'm reading some chat, and Nisa Abhi is mentioning that her husband is research interest is this, and he would like to join. Yes, most welcome. We want people like who are interested, and we want people to join us. So please, you are welcome to join us. And then Jonathan is mentioning that apart from e-learning issue, another problems could be like how to make the education so tangible, or for instance, how to organize the field course. Is there someone who did something like that? Yes, like I'm telling you that I have just put very, very few examples. There are several examples like lifelong learning and many, many examples in education system where you can bring examples, what has worked, and we want to just answer these questions for ourselves to take the stock. And I think that we will be able to produce like 2 or 3 publication out of just this one exercise, and I'm looking for all that. So if only we can match 3 case studies and do 1 publication, another publication for another 3 case studies, and we will end up with like 3 or 4 publications within no time. And this is going to be all benefited to our research output. And we will go and talk to the society in that way. So I think definitely what you have raised, that it is wide. Yes, I completely agree. It is wide. But any research, we need to have a context of wider context. What? So that is what I have put at the moment. My position research is still halfway actually. I couldn't finish. And I'm going to complete that in 2 days. And by Monday morning, I will put everything on the Google form or whatever is possible with me nicely, where we all can collaborate at the same time. And also you can download the copies, and you can put your comments, maybe use track changes or something like that, and then you can put the form directly to me, or to that I can add and copy and paste. So we will have a document ready. It can go for up to I believe it will go up to 20 to 25 pages, but then we can break down in 2 or 3 publications very easily. And so I'm looking here at multiple outcomes here in a way. And for example, like whatever you have found out, what are your main findings, something like that, you can always do tweet it and other things, which would also help you to publish your intentions, your ideas, and so on. So
can I make a suggestion, Renuka?
Yes.
And tell me what you think, because I've just thought of it now.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you know, I have a very full timetable, teaching timetable, but I'm trying to think of something I can do at the same time that I'm doing my teaching. So in the semester starting now in April, I'm teaching in economics. It's economics for the built environment module, and it has a heavy stress on sustainability, several weeks on sustainability, on sustainable urban areas, etc. Okay, and I'm just thinking, but I've noticed this before with my students who come in to study, let's say, sustainability within economics, is to make a very brief, it's not going to be proper research, but some ideas on the difference between what the new students think sustainability is about and what they subsequently go on to learn while doing the module, because I see a difference. And
Yes, yes,
what do you think you're going
definitely.
to, they think it's all just about, you know, turning the central heating off to, you know, when it's not very cold, or not staying in the shower very long, or, you know, which is fine, but it's a lot more than that. So
Yes, yes.
interesting if I could track comments from students showing me, you know, how they're developing their ideas on sustainability as they move through the module.
Yes, definitely. It can be considered as a case study later on once you want to compare, or it will serve as a case study to us. Definitely. Yeah, you can do that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I am open to all ideas, and I completely agree that it is slightly wide at the moment, but I feel that as soon as the case studies come, we will scope it, and then change our main introduction. This is part one, so that is going to be the next phase where we will write our methodology and everything, that this is how we went about our project, right? But so for example, we write a introduction or a publication in introduction, we will definitely scope it, because what it contains in that paper, that is what we are going to write in introduction, and that will set our scope. So let us start. I'm not confining at the moment with only online or only this or whatever, because I know that we are all from different environments, and I want to bring in all that experience. I don't want to limit anyone's experience. So that is what my thinking is. Yeah. Robin is saying we can use track changes in the position page. Janet, on the point of sustainability, what is sustainability and how they integrate into their daily systems operations? Sure. So yes, Janet, you can write down something for your students if you need us to review or anything. If you want to share something, you can always share with us.
Sometimes plus I could just share this one with you now, actually, because it's like very much. Is that it was a couple, maybe last year, talking to students about, you know, the possibility. I think the assignment was about being a sustainability champion at work, and one of the students asked her boss about, you know, what she could put in to get some information, and she was so enthusiastic about it, and he liked it so much that he made her sustainability champion at work.
Yes, I
took it from the assignment. And she became her workplace sustainability champion. It was brilliant. I loved that.
This is very good example how we want people to make decisions within their real life.
Thank you, Nasibasi.
She looked at she looked at the reality, and she understood where she can contribute with her knowledge.
But she took the others with her.
Yes.
You can't keep it to yourself. You've got to share it.
Share it, yes. And that is what we want to teach students. We want these students to be ambassador for our sustainability.
Yes.
And not only in their just individual life, but everywhere, whatever they practice, whatever the decisions they take, they should think at least for a while whether I'm doing this sustainable, whether this activity is or not. Just once, they should get a think. And that is what we want to make people, make this education system deliver. Our environment, we deliver that way. We should all be talking about, like we have been talking about no poverty from many years. And we did that, isn't it? Like we have gone far into, however, this COVID has impacted negatively for a while at the moment, but we did a better job at poverty. But we haven't done better job at well-being, or we haven't done this better job at sustainable development, actually. We are still having some traditional trajectories which are unsustainable, and that we want to move away from. Yeah. Okay, so now what is our plan? Let me have a look at our agenda. Yes, So yeah, I think we have spoken about our position paper, and I will distribute it this time because I have not completed yet, because I myself wanted to write a case study, but I may not be able to do that, but I will do most of the work in the sense of like completing the role of education. I've not detailed yet the role of education in my paper. I did in this presentation. So yeah, Felix is saying very good idea. And yeah, we have Mark Reshna Menshuto. Hello, do you want to say any comment?
Hello, I just came. Hello, I'm from the Philippines. I just came in late, so I need to catch up everything before
Okay.
I. Sorry.
Not to worry, I will just tell you in a very, very brief thing that I introduced that why we need to change our educational system in line with sustainable development goals. And now I have suggested that we uh, uh, collect some case studies and try to answer some questions. So you will find those, I will send you the PowerPoint, and I will also send you the position paper. If you are interested, do write me back, because you said you will just come to explore the idea, isn't it? Or are you just getting involved with us in
I
this?
want. I just want to read the paper, please.
Yeah, sure. I will do
Yeah.
that. I will share with you, and then you can let us know. And I suppose everyone may not find the case study. Everyone may not find the time. I completely agree. So don't worry. Don't worry. If you have only one case study, if you come across one study, also suggest the name to others, and if they want to carry out that. Okay. So be flexible, be network among yourselves, because when I put an email, you do have the email address of everyone. So if it is relevant to the group, do put the reply to all group. If it is only relevant to me, to put it to just me. So and if I think it is nice to share with groups, then I will share with groups. So it is just like, be flexible, be considerate with each other, and cooperate with each other. Okay. And yeah, so these are my closing comment. Do we have any other comments? Do we want to have any comments? Yes, anyone else want
I
to?
think Robin's put an interesting suggestion on the chat box, Renuka, if you want to read it.
Okay. Action points and task members to follow. Action points are just now to collect, first of all, critique my paper. You may find some arguments which are not properly drafted, or you want to add something to it. You are welcome to do that. And if you think that it is quietly extravagant or something, then you can change, like, but you have to do a track changes so that we can all know that what has been changed. So please do not delete anyone's work. Okay, not even my, or not even anyone's work. Please do not delete that. And I will ask that whoever writes, keep a copy with yourself, just in case we have made any mistake. I can also make mistakes, and I do make mistakes. I forget to put attachments or something like that. So we do make mistakes. So keep a copy with yourself, and then try to write down so that we have a copy, just in case we get lost of lose anything that time. Yeah. And task members, I would not put any task members at the moment, because I'm looking for many case studies. Whoever does the job will be the task member. What do you think? What type of task member you mean?
If I understood Robin, I think he means that if we all know something specific that we're doing, it would be easy to do it rather than having it too open and not sure how we're all linking together. Is that what you
well, as I said, we are looking for case studies, right?
Okay.
So
I think Doctor, she has already answered what I mean by task members. We are 10. I mean, we are 15 already into this project steering committee, and Now, my thinking was like after the meeting, what action points do we take? So you have already mentioned one of them is creating a paper. Then the other one is coming out with case studies. I don't know.
Yes.
Those are two action points.
Yes, these
And
are only two action points. Yes.
action points, and
Just
we
now are
should
these two action points until our next meeting.
yes, we should be able to define the time frame within which we can come out with you know would have accomplished.
I would say next meeting, but we can always be flexible with that because I don't know how far and what commitment we can do with time, right? So I will just keep it open at the moment, like until next meeting. For example, even if we have got 1, 2, 3, 5 case studies by 15 days time, then you are welcome to present them to the group. And so this is all like your capacity development as well. I don't want always myself to present. I'm always asking people to tell their ideas, whether they want to present, whether they want to put your news, whatever it is. So if you come up with a case study, make a presentation like mine, be ready with it, because this we are doing internally. It is working like our training platform. Okay. So as soon as we get an opportunity to present outside, we can do that immediately. And that is
Okay.
we want, like our networking. It should be this platform should serve as networking, capacity development, as well as doing some strategic work. And
Okay.
it is all open. So like for Janet, she has 5 days work. She can not give much time. Definitely. You think of a case study as you have already thought that you might look into within your combination of your teaching. You will look at how the students has moved their sustainability thinking from on delivery of this module. Fine. We are okay with that. So that is what I want. Be open. Don't get stressed with anything. And if you have any challenge, or only if you have idea, just put to across the network. Someone will work on it. That is what we want.
Okay. I've understood. So I would like to ask some question here.
Yeah,
That is
please.
related to what we are discussing. I've nearly developed the proposal on climate smart agriculture in Uganda as a whole project, not following the call, and I would like to share across
The
the
group.
platform
Okay.
to the group, and how possible we can move forward from there.
So what is the name of your project? You said climate change and?
Yes, it is climate change, climate smart agriculture in Uganda, and I would like to. This project
Climate
is enhancing
smart. Climate smart
Agriculture.
agriculture.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So Robin, what would I ask you? Because this one now coming meeting of our network is on second Saturday of March. Would that be too late for you?
Too
Late? Like now we have a meeting on of our network on 8th of March. Would that, no, not 8th, sorry, 13th of March. Would that be okay for you, or you want to present earlier?
that is okay for me.
Okay, then I will plan that. I will plan your presentation within that meeting. Definitely. You give me all the information, what you want to give me through email, and I will put that in our meeting. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, and then so you can attract anyone who want to get involved with your project.
All right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you very much for doing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, Nesabi is asking, are we going to merge both projects? No. We are not going to merge any projects because we are getting several projects now. So one is this, other one is already, which I emailed to Gustavo. Gustavo is looking at mapping and networking of uh, agrological producers. And one person has also suggested, Edgar from Mexico has suggested he will be looking at sustainable logistic. So that will be different project. Robbins will be also a different project. So we are having different projects. We don't want to combine because otherwise if we start combining, it will be wider and wider and we won't be able to focus on any one project to complete it. Because these are already wider projects anyway, because we have so many people and we want everyone to take their own project. So for example, now Robin is going to propose us a project, then he would be the main leader. I will be a co-leader in the sense of like I will help him in every way where I can contribute and so on. We will go according to his direction. So I want you to take your leadership whenever you suggest a project. Now, for example, Gustavo is going to take the lead on what he wants to go ahead with. Yeah, we are there to refine the project, to critique the project, to help advance the project and so on. But this educational one, it was my interest and my aspiration. So I started with this. Robin can start with his. Then we can have, as Edgar has taken initiative for sustainable logistic, then he can start his. And we are open, like we have 17 sustainable development goals, and there are several synergies between these goals. And so you are welcome to propose any project with your intention where you have already done some work or you want to do your work, whatever it is, whatever the stage it is. And I'm sure this work which we are putting into voluntary is going to pay us off, because when any opportunity arises for application of any project, we are ready to do that and we will immediately get some funding and so on. So don't bother yourself about not having any returns at the moment, but at long run, I think we are going to have a great benefits of this project. So here Robin says that, he wants that it can be replicated in 10 countries of this network. Sure, Robin, you put out the project for me. Like, to me, I will put a space for you in the meeting and tell me what time we would require, or maybe we can allot the whole meeting for that. I don't mind. And then after one meeting in our general meeting, we can then put a separate meeting for that project whenever we want to. Just as we are doing for general meeting at the moment we are doing. And then for this project, we will put a separate these meetings. Okay. Is that clear? And any suggestions around that?
To me.
Sorry?
Okay. I think that is that's the right approach.
Okay.
Yes, that's the right approach. I agree.
And even Janet, like if you want to do any small project also, just as you mentioned, this case study also, we are fine. We can critique, we can help you, whatever you want. We want even small, big, because they can be used as case studies. We can have a small publication. Yes, I wanted to also make a announcement with like academia.com or something like that we have. And they have published just now a new approach that you can put a small papers like 800 to 1000 or 800 to 600 words papers also in academia. And they have a very, they do not have very strict any rules. So that is easy to put out the case studies and something like that if you want to publish. Okay, so I think we will close the meeting for now. Is everyone happy?
Yes.
So
Thank
have a
you.
lovely, lovely weekend. Okay.
Same to you, Renuka, and to everyone. It's really nice to meet everyone today. See you.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye. I will
Thanks,
save
Renuka.
and I will save the link also and I will distribute it later. Okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
It was nice meeting with you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Robin.
Stay safe.
Sure.